Okay, this is going to be a quick little tour of my guided reading binder. And I've tried a lot of different things, and I actually just moved to this one recently, mostly because I found it and I was like, I could use that for guided reading. But I want to show you why I picked this one in particular. And you can really use any kind of binder, any kind of system that works for you. I like to have copies and examples of my lesson plans, of those pieces in there, so that I can refer back to them. One of the things that I talked about before when talking about guided reading is that it's really important to have your plans written. I tend to like the Jan Richardson templates because I think that they are some of the easiest to use. I think it's great because you can go back and see what you have already done with a group, and you can see what issues you had. Notice right here, this one, whenever I've got a different color right here, that's what happened on the next day. And it's one of those places to where you can see just some very general planning for the different levels of guided reading. So that's something that I keep in here. Normally, I don't know why I didn't have them hole punched, but I would have maybe my groups identified either by their level or however I really wanted to. I could just put them all in here together. And I like to keep these inside of my guided reading notebook, so that goes in there. Another thing that I keep in here, probably if I had a table of my own, I would have maybe a little bucket that had our dry erase markers and all those kind of things in it. But because I travel around with mine, that's in my little pouch right here. The other thing that I have in here, especially if I am a pre-K, K2 teacher, I would make sure that I had access to the why can I not think of the word? The alphabet linking charts. And the reason I love these, I would probably, especially with COVID right now, I would make sure every kid has their own. And it does not have to be in color at all. I just happen to have color ones, but you don't have to. And they need to go in some kind of a page protector or laminated, because you want students to be able to do some of their word study down here at the bottom. And it helps them to have this link right here to help them not only with their letter formation, but also with stretching out sounds. It's also a place that you could easily draw an L. Conan box, and you could talk about sounds in here. So I love this whole idea of just having it in a page protector, because the kids can easily write on that. On the back of this, I have just a general sound box chart up here, and then an analogy chart. This is for a little bit higher learners, where we are listening to two different kinds of words and they have to decide where they go. So I have in my binder enough of these for a group of 6 students. So that is one thing that's in here. Another opportunity that I have in here as well, just so that I've got some options, is that I have an L. Conan box page to where it's got multiple ones, so that the students could either identify that I'm going to need 2 for 2 sounds, or if we're tying it to letters, I might need 3 for the 3 different letters I hear. So it really does help them with that grapheme mapping. So I have those. If I were a little bit higher level teacher, maybe second and up, I would make sure that I have at least 1 copy of a United States map and a world map, because so many of our nonfiction stories, or even some of our fiction stories, talk about where a character comes from, where they traveled. We might be learning about different parts of the world. So I think this is really a handy thing to have, so that you can point out right in the moment where it is. It really helps build some of that background knowledge. Another thing that I keep in here is I also keep, close that one up, any kind of just guided reading, note-taking type things. Any of my learning that I've had for guided reading, I keep it in here. I also keep my lesson plan templates, and I'm going to tell you what I like about this binder that I got is that over here, I'm making sure you can see, there's like a little Velcro-y thing, and it actually has a place where you can put pages. So this would be where I put in my empty templates. So they're at the office, so I don't have them in here right now, but I would keep my empty templates in here, or I could put in the guided reading books that I'm going to use for a particular group, because I could put those as well. This also has a place in here for its own little zipper pouch. And inside of this, I keep little strategy cards that students can use in a small group. So if we're working on, say, the keyword strategy, I can pass this out so that each student has their own. I just like keeping these in a very centralized location so that we can access them whenever we need them. And it really does help to have the students have them right in front of them. You could also create little baggies for the students so that each student has their own bag, and then they add those strategies to their bag as they go. So I do keep those templates in here. Notice here's some blank templates, and I just kind of keep them organized by, here's my pre-A, my emergent, my early. So I kind of keep all those pieces in here. Anything that I think I'm going to use, I keep in this binder. Here's some of my guided writing paper, so I can create a little booklet for students, and then it really does help me move through and be able to meet the needs of my guided reading group really quickly. I think that probably one of the easiest things, and one of the reasons I love the templates, is because right there on the back of those, it has the opportunity for you to take running records and to make student notes. And we know that those anecdotal notes are going to help inform your decision on when you need to move a student forward. So I like having a big fat binder like this so that I can kind of keep adding to it and tracking my students as they move forward.